What's going on, guys? Disorderly Product News, and I am so excited to bring you this. This is my episode on the Pop Brothers Attorneys at Law podcast on iHeartRadio. Heard in 109 countries. Those are the Pop Brothers on either side of the desk. The man in the middle is Albert Einstein. That's right. They smoked so much they invented a time machine. Anyways, let me get you familiar with the Pop Brothers and what first put them on the map. They came up with a 25-word script for anybody who gets pulled over by the police for any reason to use. This is the 25-word script. Why did you pull me over? I'm not discussing my day. Am I being detained or am I free to go? If detained, you say, I invoke the fifth. And then you, STFU. This is a family show. That's the 25-word script. Now let's see it in action.
Listen to a couple of these audios that we got from some followers who utilized the script and maintained their rights, even though the cops were being abusive, and even called one of them a dick. Listen up.
Coach, are you been smoking?
I'm not discussing it, Jay.
Where are you going?
I'm not discussing my day.
Huh?
I'm not discussing my day.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't want to answer that question.
Okay. Is that weed on the side here?
I don't know. I'm not discussing my day.
Okay. Well, you know it's illegal to have marijuana inside your car without the proper container?
I'm not discussing anything, sir.
Okay. So, he's being a dick a little bit, so.
Alright, man, check this out. Go ahead and step out for me.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now in a second. Step out.
I just want to know what I did.
Okay. I can smell marijuana coming from the car. I'm going to search it.
In California, smell is not probable cause.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it is. I could verify how much there is in the vehicle. I asked you if you guys smoked. You told me you're not going to discuss your day, so I guess I'll find out by myself. Go ahead and step out.
That's fair.
Alright? If you would have just told me.
I'm recording just so you know, just for both
Go ahead and leave this in the car.
So in both those instances, they stuck to their guns, they stuck to the script, they didn't let the cop intimidate. The other cop thought he knew the law better than what we teach, which is smell in California is not probable cause. Alone. So what happened in both those instances, one of them who got pulled over for not having proper registration got a ticket for registration. They searched the car, found about an eighth of weed, and then gave it back. That's the cop who said smell was probable cause. I wonder.
Or give him a ticket for open container.
Didn't do that either. They just wrote him off for the registration. The other guy who got pulled over and called him a dick for asserting his rights, he ended up with an open container, but we think the search was illegal, and we're going to be fighting that case.
So there you go. There's them in action, or at least their clients in action. Now, let's go through their resume. Let's see who they worked with, because it's kind of impressive.
1, 2, 3, come on!
Which leads us into this disorderly product news on the Pop Brothers Attorneys at Law's podcast in 109 countries. Here we go.
Welcome to Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue, Joe Grande, and Mark and Craig Wasserman, the Pop Brothers at Law. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast all around the world, 109 different countries. We greatly appreciate you checking us out. Anytime you want to call us up, go ahead, 800-420-1980. That's 800-420-1980. Mark is working right now. Craig, you're working on a joint as you're outside on a Zoom, which is great. And Blue's downstairs selling a car, but you can check out our Instagram pages for daily news and all kinds of other good stuff on us. Learn some personal things about us as well at Cannabis Talk 101 at pot_brothers_at_law. Mark's at Waslaw, Craig's at Waslaw Dog, Blue's at 1 Christopher Wright, and I am at Joe Grande 52. On the show today, we have a guy that Mark and Craig were actually on his podcast a while back, and it's Regan. Regan or Reagan?
Reagan.
Reagan.
Reagan,
Right?
Reagan Fitzgerald Peabody. Reagan isn't Ronald Reagan. Fitzgerald isn't John Fitzgerald Kennedy. That's a donkey and the elephant. They made it and had me, the son of Uncle Sam. I am the concrete constitutionalist, the concrete Johnny Cochran, the lip boxing heavyweight champion of the world, and the MMA artist of the esophagus. But go ahead, you could just call me Reagan.
I mean, I can just call him Reagan, a social influencer, investigative reporter from Disorderly Product News, which is a media channel on YouTube. He interviews mobsters, cartel associates, etc., as well as performing investigative journalism. You can follow him on Instagram at Disorderly Product. Thank you, Reagan, for coming on the show, man. And how did you get the Pot Brothers at Law? What's that about?
Oh, well, so I became the video that went viral for me was I had a business, and I was driving through the west side of Chicago. Now, the west side of Chicago is almost 100% African American. And while I was driving, I saw.
Oh, you fit in well.
What did you say?
I said, so you fit in well.
Yeah, oh yeah, I fit in well. So I'm glowing like you know. So a vice squad officer pulls behind me, two vice squad officers, and they put on their lights and they pull me over. Now I know vice squad officers on the west side of Chicago, which has the most open air drug markets than anywhere in the nation, is not pulling me over for my seatbelt. That's the pretext of the stop. That's the probable cause. But they want to get in my car, and I thought I know the law backwards and forwards. There's no way they're getting in my car. Well, they got in my car because they said they believe that I threw a gun underneath my seat. Now, the officer came and took my license, and he's holding my license like this and looking down at it. And he's about 5 inches away from somebody who they have to satisfy these two elements, that I'm armed, but not only that I'm armed, that I'm dangerous. So you put every single one of your major vital organs in my window, and you took your eyes off me to look down at my ID, but you believe I'm going to shoot you? Get out of here. So that went to them taking me out of the car, and I'm videotaping, and I think the big tagline of that video was, there was a female officer. I said, get out of my car. And he goes and puts his hand in my pocket. I go, you're allowed to do a cursory search of my person. And she goes, you don't know the law. I go, yes, I do. It's Terry versus Ohio, 1968, set precedent for the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. Do you know the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution? She goes, yeah. I go, what is it? She goes, I don't have to tell you anything. I go, what is it? She goes, I don't have to tell you anything. I go, illegal search and seizure. Get the fuck out of my car. And I think that part made it go viral because obviously I wasn't in my car Googling cursory searches in the Fourth Amendment to the They just knew that I knew it. So there's a big platform on YouTube and social media for people that are want to uphold their rights. So that's how it started.
Like that? Where did you get that, and how'd you pull that out of your ass so fast?
It's just like anything, right? Artists see the world in colors. Mathematicians see the world in numbers. I'm just good at law. I didn't try to be good at law. I just understand it. You understand? It just sticks with me. I don't know why.
Are you a lawyer by trade?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, see that, and that's what, and we make that point that you don't need to be a lawyer to understand your own rights. You need to understand your rights. And most law enforcement, when you tell them, for the most part, we say do it politely, so you don't try to piss them off. But you know your rights, and when they know you know your rights, they get a little flustered. So what happened at the end of that stop?
So luckily, I took my phone out. I was recording, and that's what I say. Always record your traffic stop.
Always film the police.
Always. So they try to say, oh, you don't have to record. We're recording. These are the two vice squad officers. Now, they must have called for backup. So two blue and whites came, and they don't know what's going on. So to protect themselves, they're going to turn their cameras on right away because they don't know what they're walking into. They don't know how these people have violated my rights, and they want to protect themselves. So when I did a FOIA request, that's a Freedom of Information Act request, and anybody can do it for body camera footage. The two officers in blue and white came back, but the vice squad officers who told me to turn off their phone because they were recording, I never got that footage.
What they charge you with?
It was just a seatbelt ticket, and they never showed up for court.
And so you did that Freedom of Information Act for the traffic ticket.
I did the Freedom of Information Act not even for the traffic ticket. I didn't
see it.
Yeah, I just did it for YouTube. I mean, I knew it was a big deal. I had videotaped it, but I was so mad, and when I was yelling, I was so exuberant that I kept on turning off my phone. So I'm like, let me get all the footage. And
They screwed up.
What's funny is that we're fighting tickets now, and instead of just going in and dicking around with a little traffic ticket, we're doing full-on discovery, such as requesting all the body cam, requesting all the information, and then we get to court. They're like, "Fucking a ticket! It's the ticket, and you want all this stuff." Yep, that's all right.
And how many times, Craig, does the judge throw it out because you want all this stuff just for a ticket? Does that happen often?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they don't bring it, they're not giving us all the discovery, then the judge can dismiss it.
Well, yeah, I've had it where it was a seatbelt ticket, and the judge says, "What do you want to do?" I said, Your Honor, I need an extension. It was Bellwood. Bellwood has 20 days to respond to my FOIA request. There's still 9 more days. So can I get a week extension? And she goes, "This is a seatbelt ticket."
Yeah, we get that.
She goes, "Just wear your seatbelt." I go, "Your Honor, I always wear my seatbelt. I would never not wear my seatbelt. It's my position. I had my seatbelt on the whole time." She goes, "Just wear your seatbelt and go home." You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't want to deal with all that, right?
Right. They didn't want to. As long as you know the law and you can go over there and pressure them for it, they're like, "Oh shit, we're not going to jump through all these hoops." Well, then you know what? Especially when they don't show up. I mean, Jam, you should be able to walk away with that easy.
Well, normally when they don't show up, it's automatically dismissed. Period.
Right.
If they don't show up, it's dismissed.
Yeah.
So
were you able to sue them, Reagan, or
when they show up, it's when they show up and didn't provide you what you requested, then you can push to get it dismissed for their failure to comply with discovery requests. And you don't normally see that in a traffic ticket court. Yeah. So either the judge is like, "You know what, I'm going to dismiss it," or I'll continue it until they give you the information.
Yeah.
And either they're going to come up with it or not.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I don't know. There's got to be another way with the cams that are automatic somehow, because leaving it up to the cop to turn it on and off is ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. I actually made an officer cry on the stand, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of making it. Listen, it was a $500 ticket. It was a railroad disregarding the traffic mechanism indicating an oncoming train. Or
would you go around it? Would you go through it?
Well, but the law is you can stop no less than 15 feet, no more than 60 or 50 feet, right? For the people that are really, really scared. My contention is, I was past 15 feet. I was past the point of no return. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep on going. If I would have stopped, then you could have gave me a ticket.
I got you.
Too close.
What'd you say?
You were within 15 feet, so you had to do something else.
Yeah. And I was in physics class at the time, so I was all around good. I mean, I had to talk to my physics teacher, where she was at, the depth perception. She could never even told you that. Think about a horse race. Where is the photo finish at? Directly perpendicular to the ending line. Now imagine the photographers in front of the horses or in front of the races. You can't tell if it's a photo finish. So how she ended up crying, I think she started going downhill when I said, "Did you have your body camera on?" She goes, "Yeah, I turned it on right when I got out of the car." I'm like, "When did you turn it off?" She goes, "Right when the thing was done, right when the traffic stop was done." Now I knew, or I had a pretty good idea, a hunch that she didn't have that on her. But it's acting a lot of lower, I said, "You're okay, Your Honor, can we get the necessary equipment to watch this body camera footage that the officer has?" She goes, "Oh, I don't have it on me now." I go, whoa, wait. The only independent evidence you have to say what you are saying is true, you don't have? Why don't you have it? She goes, "I'm in a different uniform. We don't wear our body cams with this." It's your clothes' fault? Your clothes. It's your clothes' fault that you didn't bring your body camera to court today? Is that what you want us to believe?
That's hilarious.
It just went downhill. It wasn't any good for her. She didn't know the law. I said, "So what's the law?" What? She goes, "You stop when the light's red." I go, "What if I stop and I end up on the tracks?" She goes, "Then you go." I said, "I don't understand. Do I go? Do I stop? Do I stop? Do I go?" I said, "The legislators surely wrote a law that is more, bigger than is the light red, you go and stop. What's the footage? And funny, it's the 10th Amendment of the Constitution that gives states the rights to enact laws, and usually all road laws are by state only. But since it's a railroad track, and my thinking is because it goes from state to state, it's actually federal. It's actually federal law. You see, no more than 15 feet, no less than 60. I might be saying that backwards, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds about right. No less than 15, no more than 60. That makes sense, total sense. And if you're within 15 feet, well, then I got to get the hell out of Dodge. Either you want me to hit the brakes and back up and cause an accident, or try to get the hell over these tracks and prevent a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know that it's funny. I was no physicist or math major, but when I was, I think, 16, I ran a red light, and I ended up fighting. This is when I think I knew I was going to be a lawyer. When I ended up fighting it, learned all about traffic surveys and how fast you need to be going on the street. Oh, that was for my first speeding ticket that I did all that research. But for the traffic ticket, I went and we investigated how long the yellow has to be to give you a chance to get through the light at a certain point of no return. And we found the information from the city engineer that it had to be 3.5 seconds long. Otherwise, it's, you can't get the point of no return. You can't stop.
Yeah.
And so we went out, we timed the light, and the light was like 1.9 second yellow light. And we went to court, and the fucking judge agreed with me.
But said, go sit down and learn your spot in life, little boy.
Didn't give me the fine, but still give me a fucking point.
Oh my God.
It was like the weirdest. It was the weirdest thing.
It was the weirdest win ever, right? You're like, I won this, but yet I'm paying fucking extra for 3 more years on my insurance. This is bullshit.
I love stuff like that. I love that you found that it was 3 seconds. It's like that My Cousin Vinny moment. Oh, double posse. That couldn't possibly be the car because it must have went on a curve, and So I love stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because
that sucks.
I had another one, a speeding ticket, and it was, so I went and you got to have a traffic survey. And the traffic survey, it has to be done every so many years. So when I got to court, and my mom was there. I think this was the very first ticket I got. And I'm sitting there, and I said, yeah, I'm ready to fight the case. And the judge stood up, and before I could even say anything, he asked the cop, "Did you bring your traffic survey?" I left it in my other patrol car. Case dismissed. I didn't have to argue shit because I had this whole argument planned out that there's a vehicle code section that if you're passing somebody, you can go 15 miles over the speed limit. So I was going to use that as a defense because I was sure I was going over fucking the speed limit. But I had that case dismissed as well. But more people should take those on instead of just giving in to the cops because 9 times out of 10, they don't show up anyways.
Well, it all started off with a ticket. It's Reagan from the Disorderly Product News. You can check out his YouTube channel. Tons of interviews, all that. It's Cannabis Talk 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue, Joe Grande, and Mark and Craig Wasserman, the Pop Brothers at Law. Reagan, the social influencer, investigative reporter from Disorderly Product News. Great story of how it all started. And once again, that reminder of always film the police. But what else did you put on your channel? What made you go so viral? That's just this passion to help people. Like, there's so many great things that you're putting out there. What is it that brings that passion to educate everyone?
Well, I'm good at it, right? So I'm good at it. So if I can help people, and there is a whole genre that you guys aren't aware of. That's why the Pop Brothers would marry so perfectly in the YouTube community, because there's a genre called First Amendment auditing. Have you ever heard of First Amendment auditing?
I've never had, Craig.
Have you heard it? Nobody's heard it. Okay. It's huge. And
Craig, maybe you can say no next time.
Yeah. And how it started off is it was people taking their cameras and going on social media and going into police stations, government buildings, and asserting their First Amendment right, the right to freedom of the press. And if you walk into a police station with a camera, they're going to go nuts. And at least they did in the infancy. But you have every right to do it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not crossing any security, you don't go through any security. It's open to the public. That's the people's building.
Right, we pay for it. The taxes pay this fucking building right here.
Yeah, so we own it. It's held in the public trust, and you guys are the guardians of it. But this area right here is the foyer. This is where everybody's allowed in the police station. I can have my camera here all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, well, we got private matters." Well, that's on you. You have to create the privacy.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't have to create the privacy. You have to create the privacy. So you might as well take them in the back room or something, because I'm not going to stop recording. So that's kind of how it went. And it just grew into people recording traffic stops, people, and it's just people being aware of their rights. I mean, maybe in the 60s it was hippies, but I think people have always been inclined to want to fight for their rights. And I think the First Amendment auditing community is that in 2021.
Have you hooked up with Mr. Checkpoint? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know who Mr. Checkpoint is. That became its own thing. You know, people going through the checkpoints that are I believe the Supreme Court said they could be the 20 miles by any border, national border, not state border. So Canada or Mexico. And people go through there and they just say, I'm not going to talk. So I have another guy over here with me who's also an activist, the guy that I said, Joe, if we heard about a DUI checkpoint, we would jump in our car right now and go there. And we'd roll our window down this much and we'd say, we don't feel like talking. You know what I'm saying?
You would invoke the script.
Yeah, we'd invoke the script. That's exactly what we do.
Last 25 words.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you find the script would help even when you're filming everybody and you'd be able to go over there and recite the script and saying, hey, follow this?
Listen, everybody should follow the script. I would never say anybody not follow the script. But I have to produce content. So shutting up sometimes isn't the best idea for me.
That's different. I'm glad you gave that disclaimer, because that's a lot different. Like even my son, who we've gotten off of a couple felonies back in the day, he probably talked more than we would like him to, but he knew how to deal with them because of all, being, having indoctrinated what he should and shouldn't say. But it's not for everybody, because everybody can't handle it. They're going to eventually fuck themselves unless the disclaimer is you do this for a living and you know what you're doing. So
yeah, it's like a fire juggler. Like, just say don't play with fire, and the fire jugglers obviously can juggle fire. Now that's what I wanted to ask you. Let's say you get pulled over, big brother, and it's a rookie cop, right? Now you don't want to answer any questions, so you don't want to divulge any information. But wouldn't it be beneficial for you to start asking him questions? You recording? Oh yeah, I'm recording. He doesn't realize everything's going to be played at trial, so you start asking him questions that are going to screw him over, that he doesn't even realize are going to screw him over. Do you ever see that?
Well, I mean, it plays right into the script. That's why the very first thing, no matter what they say to you, even if they say, I pulled you over for going 30, why did you pull me over? Why'd you pull me over? I mean, and that starts the clock ticking, how long they have to give you that traffic ticket, unless they find independent probable cause to to detain you further. So that really puts in, whether and 90% of the time, they don't know that. They're not taught that, I don't think.
Yeah. And
that's why they try to keep you there for as long as possible. The longer they keep you there, the longer you're going to potentially talk and incriminate yourself, so they can get more than the ticket they pulled you over for. Yeah. So that's why'd you pull me over? And then if they keep you longer than that and didn't tell you, that's grounds to get it kicked out of court.
Yeah.
But and then anything else they ask you, that's where we differ, just in the sense of, me or you might be able to pull it off, but no matter what they say next, I'm not discussing my day. Yeah. You don't want to talk to them. You don't want to engage with them, because the only thing that can 99.9% of the time is it goes south for that person.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
but I'm talking about you personally. Would you ever see it be
actually, I'll be honest. That might be fun, but I actually had to do it on a potential DUI stop that I got pulled over for. And I sat there when they came up to the car going, fuck, am I going to do this? This is 5-6 years ago, maybe. Am I really going to do this? And they stand at the window. They got their vest on. They look like they're 8 feet fucking tall. Why'd you pull me over? Your lights were out. Well, okay. I go, fucking valet. They caught me coming out of a restaurant.
Oh, that sucks.
And they turned off my auto lights. So I go fucking valet and I pop on my auto lights. Oh, so you've been drinking tonight?
Well, there you go, guys. That's the end of part 1. Tune into part 2 to find out what happens at famous lawyer Craig Wasserman's DUI stop. Does he go to jail? Plus, we get into the rules of a DUI stop. Are you required to perform any acts for the police while still in the probable cause phase? And we talk about DPN's connection to the outfit. That's the mafia in Chicago, for those that don't know. My name is Disorderly Product News, wishing you and yours a very safe and happy rest of the weekend. Good night!